guys, welcome back to our part 2 of our video series of our coaching introduction. So in the last bit, I just shared with you at the end what exactly is a coaching process and how exactly will or can executive coaching do for you if you engage with an internal external coach. Now, everyone will have their own coaching framework or model to use. Some of them, they may actually even throw away all those, like structures and rigidity and like models and framework and just really attune to their clients. So what is it that can help you today? And just like start from that. But some of us might want to have, a very kind of like a deliberative framework to work with our clients, because some of them, they might want to follow a structure to see if like we know our stuff. So during the coaching process, essentially is we would define and co-create a goal statement. In some cases, some people like it, some people don't like it, but we will either write it down or agree mutually what our clients would like to achieve during that 6 sessions, 8 sessions, 6 months retainer, a year-long retainer with us, what they want to do. Now, it can be a very personal one. Before I become a coach myself, I worked with a coach or a few coaches before that. I want to become a better manager. I want to look at my habits. Why am I procrastinating on certain things? Or how do I engage with my clients better? Blah, blah, blah. But there are clients out there who would like to work on, I would like to see like my career progression, or how can I be a better communicator? How can I be a more effective manager? How can I lead my organization in these times of uncertainty and ambiguity? Like, what do I need to do? So it really depends. But once we agree if that is the objective or the goal that our clients want to achieve, then we will set up the conversations in a structured way that will help our clients to get them where they want to be by first looking at what's the reality, and at the end of the day, what they can do to achieve the goal. So we will come up with an action plan. It's a co-creation. Again, it's collaborative. It's not just like me telling my client what they do, but they will actually eventually find answers on their own, with me creating that space for them to reflect and learn together. While I'm saying this, and you might kind of like say, Lorraine, is kind of like, firstly, what do you mean by creating a goal statement together, check the reality, and come up with an action plan? Isn't it just like any other project meetings that I have with my colleagues? With the clients that I've come across, and even with my own personal experience, there are a lot of times where we just get caught up with so many priorities in both of life, personal and professional, that we thought that we have a goal, that we thought that, I want to become a CEO in 2 years. Oh, I want to have better work-life integration with my family. But for some reasons, we have tried different methods and work with different people, we've talked with friends and blah blah blah, but still it's not really like getting to where exactly we want to be. So a very skilled and experienced executive coach will not be able to just hold the space for you, but also to put you out of the comfort zone intellectually and mentally. We actually give you, pieces of assignments or homework depending on what your goal is, and start to help you, kind of like empower you in a way so that you can have a self-sustaining mechanism to achieve your goal. at the end. And also the most important thing, now I'm also actually coming into answering the question that I get asked all the time. So what is the difference between hiring a coach and hiring a consultant, and talking to my mentor, talking to my dad? I'm coming in a bit. Now, after we, during the coaching process, hold the space for you, it's psychologically safe, you can talk to us about anything that you want, as long as legal. It is not meant to harm anyone, of course. You tell us what you want to do. We go through what you are going through at the present, and then we ending up coming up with different action plans so that you can achieve on your own. The last bit is, if you're working with a coach, you are not supposed to be dependent on me, on us, to have the ability. For example, if your goal is to become a better communicator, I want to become more confident and own my seat at the table during senior management meetings and board meetings. I want to become, I want to command the kind of executive presence. After the agree sessions, you are supposed to have that self-sustaining mechanism so that you don't need to rely on me anymore to command that kind of executive presence. So it's not like whenever I need to go to a board meeting, whenever I feel down, I feel insecure, there's this person that I just don't want to talk to, he intimidates me, for example, I just call up, hey Lorraine, can you come to the meeting with me, can you practice with me? That's not what executive coaching is. Because supposedly after the end of our agree sessions, you are supposed to have that kind of, okay, I still feel a bit uncomfortable about getting the speech or having this meeting with all these senior people, but because I have already got what Lorraine has shared with me or what I've actually learned in the executive coaching sessions, I now have actually the techniques and tools with me so that I can command executive presence in that meeting. So that's the beauty and the power of executive coaching, is that last bit. How do we create that self-sustaining mechanism for you so that you can do the work on your own without relying on anyone else? Now, the last bit of the question that I just would like to share with you guys as well before we end this part 2 of our short video series. It was the difference between hiring a mentor, a consultant, and trainer, and talking to my dad, and blah blah. Now, the major difference is, and again we have to share a little bit of history of actually what coaching is. Coaching does borrow a little bit from counseling and consulting, but the major difference is coaching is future focused. You may actually think that word's very cliche. Now, Lorraine, everybody's talking about future ready, future of state, future of work. What do you mean by future focused? During that coaching process, a coach or the way that we work with you, we're not interested in going into, for example, what your mom did to you. You know what I mean? So, for example, if a client comes to us with their past issues, or they keep on repeating certain things, or they coming in bursting into tears every single time, that's not our job to handle. And we are not even advised or allowed to work with some clients in those situations. Now, during organizational coaching, especially if a company pays us to coach someone, tears will appear. It's normal. It's because during those personal conversations, it can get personal and also professional. So sometimes some people might get emotional and they may shed a tear or two. But if we're talking about, oh my goodness, repeating the same negative experience and bursting into tears every single time, then it's not our job, and we would actually raise a red flag and say, hey, do you still think that actually what we are doing is still beneficial for you? Should we call in employee assistance program, have a counselor and work with you? Do you need need mental health experts and things like that. So on that bit, that's already a major difference between counseling and coaching. So as I just said, counseling is more like on your past experience, what happened in your childhood, what happened in the past, kind of like reconcile with your present but reconciling with your past. Now, having said that, I'm not saying that during coaching your past will not appear in during the process, but it's really about, okay, so with that has an impact on your current reality. What do you want to do with it, and how do you want to go forward? In the coming 3 years, if you look back, what would you say to your current self? We're all about helping you to make that leap, moving forward, instead of like looking at your past, right? Now, another thing about mentoring, whether it's in university or whether it's in organizations, a lot of time actually the focal point would be the mentee looking up to the mentor, asking for advice and directions, and basically simply looking for answers for most of the time. But again, executive coaching, especially with formal and professional training, we're not there to share experience. So for example, even though I have 9 to 10 years of having experience under my belt right now, if I'm going into a coaching conversation with my client, if they would like me to share a lot of experience of like how other people have climbed to the top and how other organizations are hiring and whatsoever, we are not actually encouraged or allowed to in some very religious situations, religious situations meaning like, getting really adhere to that highest level of professional coaching standard, not like having a religious ceremony. We are not allowed or encouraged to share our own past experience unless in certain situations we have gained permission from our clients and both agree that it would be beneficial. So it's not about me sharing my own past experience or me sharing my own observation. It's about, again, it's that also kind of like draws to the major difference between coaching and mentoring is the client, you, would be the focal point. It's not about what I have done in the past as a coach or how great I was as a coach in the past, what I've done. It's not about me. It's about helping you to get your achievement. So, in our training, we would say that, if we as a coaches talk too much, we're actually interfering your space to learn and grow. In the best or the most effective coaching conversations or the entire coaching process, we only speak 20%. 80% should be our clients, you, the counterpart, reflecting, talking, asking us questions, having a very two-way flow dialogue. It's not about the coach giving you all the answers. So that's the difference between coaching and mentoring. Now, what about actually coaching and consulting? I know our video is a little bit longer this time, but I would like to kind of like get it out there so that people don't get confused. Again, consultant and trainers, they are similar in a way that they are there to do the job, and they get the mandate from the clients. They got paid by exactly providing the solutions. So they're not there to create that reflective space in an ongoing basis. Sometimes going up to 6 months to 12 months, right? Like I just said before, or like 8 sessions. 8 sessions can take up like 3 to 4 months in some cases, for our clients to reflect individually and privately. So, if I'm wearing a consulting hat, which I'm wearing right now in some situations, I need to go in there and provide answers and solutions for my clients. I'm not there to ask them like, coaching questions and what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Yes, we would ask it in a client meeting, but at the end of the day, I got paid by providing the solution, not the kind of reflective space. But coaching, it's not about me providing the answers for my clients. is about creating the space again and asking the shortest, simplest yet effective questions at the right time. Again, that structured, deliberate, Socratic dialogue process for our clients, you, to be able to find the answers on your own. Because for senior leaders, the more senior you become, the more uncertainty and ambiguity you need to handle. And we all know that there's no model answers equations for you to follow. There might be corporate guidelines, there might be regulation guidelines, but in some situations it's so fluid. And it might sound like cliche, but it is a case-by-case situation in some of the scenarios. So it's our job to help or facilitate or accelerate our clients, you, to be able to have that self-sustaining mechanism, to have that kind of, empowerment, to be able to come up with solutions on your own. So this video is a little bit, not a little bit, but much longer than the last one. So in our upcoming video series, we are still going to talk about a little bit more about the other questions that we just mentioned in the part 1. If I'm talking to HR director, does he still or she still need formal training? And how much should I pay an external coach? What is it that they can do for me, right? So I'm going to share more with you guys, but for now, let's just actually take a break, and then I will see you soon.